If you were to think of something that you might impart with a young person, a teenager, what would it be? At a recent Rotary meeting, one of the people from the school system was present, and he suggested that there were a lot of single parent children of single parents, and they were without leadership, and they wanted somebody to come talk to them. In my head, maybe as in I just asked that question to you, you might have thought, oh man, this and 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 this. The thing that bothered me is they wanted you to talk for an hour, which I can very readily do, but I know the attention span of the average teenager is less than a goldfish, which is about 6 seconds. So I narrowed my list down as much as I could, and I eliminated some things that I thought were really good and then some things that I thought were better. But after much thought, I decided on 3 things. The first thing I would impart to this young person would be that you're going to be a lifelong learner. And you learn from experience you receive as you go through life, in addition to what you learn in books and in school. Don't limit your learning only to things you like. Explore things that are different, even some things that you may not agree with. Because the funny thing is, when you really look into it, you may find out you have a lot more in common with the people you don't believe than the people you do believe. Here's an example of a final learning idea. When I was a young Bert, I was watching a show called Sea Hunt, and Bob probably remembers Sea Hunt with Lloyd Bridges. That got me inspired to be a scuba diver. There ain't a lot of scuba diving in Ohio. But I read up on being a scuba diver. We did go to the river a lot. Oh my. So I practiced snorkeling. Now, part of scuba diving has to do with snorkeling. But I read up on scuba diving as much as I could. I took my first dive, never having been in the water before, when I was in Cannes, France. My first dive was 80 feet. At least they tell me that's what it was, because back then, unless you had a depth gauge strapped to your wrist, you didn't know. And the tanks didn't have pressure gauges, so they figured you should take this long to get before you get out of air. The point of the story is, you don't learn anything by reading. You learn by doing. And then the next thing I would probably tell a young person is you have responsibilities. But before that, I would tell them you have rights, and they don't believe it. Can't do anything. I don't have any rights. But you have rights, but you have responsibilities. You can't have rights without responsibility. Everybody's protesting these days for rights to do this and right to do that. They don't turn back to what is the responsibility I have to bring to the table. So you have the right to choose what you believe, but you really don't have, you have the responsibility not to shove your belief down somebody else's throat. You have the right to an education, but understand if you're in an educational system, your responsibility is to follow the curriculum and the mandates set by the learning establishment or your instructor. Also, you have a right to be a leader, but you have the responsibility first of being a follower. The third one, I love this third one. The most important thing, what is it? Enjoy the journey. Now, they're busy enjoying the journey right now when they're in school and when you're young. When you get older, you're going to have some things that will present you in life, that will present you with opportunities and challenges. And challenges, if you look at it correctly, is nothing but an opportunity turned on its head. The journey is absolutely 100% easier if you have a destination. And the destination is not playing a video game all day long and then waiting to go to school. I'll give you an example. When Bert was in nursing school, I had a part-time job in another hospital as an aide. For those of you that don't know it, aides get some pretty primo opportunities. And one of my primo opportunities was cleaning feces off an incontinent older adult. And they couldn't understand why, as I was cleaning them, I was smiling. And they asked me, "Why are you smiling?" I said, "Because someday I'm probably going to be in your place, and I hope the person that takes care of me is smiling and happy and content." Here's a better story. Some of you may have seen the video with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he's lifting really heavy weights, but he's smiling. He actually said in one of his videos, somebody asked him, "Why are you smiling?" And he said all he could think about as he was lifting these heavy weights, and it wasn't easy, was the ultimate goal that he was going to achieve. Hence we go back to, you need to have a destination. So the three things are, I would tell them to be a lifelong learner. I would tell them they have rights, but they also have responsibilities. And I would tell them to enjoy the journey. Is there a possibility? These are things you might tell a younger person or a younger version of yourself. If yes, start today. You will never be younger. And I'm Toastmaster.